The next call is a split call between the Green Party and the ACT Party. Call Eugenie Sage, 5 minutes.
Tēnā koe, Mr Speaker, thank you. Pleased to speak on the Exclusive Economic Zone and Continental Shelf Environmental Effects Transitional Provisions Amendment Bill, and to explain why the Green Party will be casting a protest vote on this bill, because it appears once again that this is an example of special pleading legislation and that the government is amending our law for the benefit of particular corporate interests, in this case Shell Todd Oil Services. In the Green Party, we believe that there should be one law for all New Zealanders rather than one for the oil companies and one for the rest of New Zealand. And the government has form on amending law to benefit the oil industry. When we had the EEZ legislation going through, of course, it rammed through under urgency in the committee stages the changes to establish a no-go zone, allowing no protests, no New Zealanders to exercise their democratic right within that zone around seismic and other exploration vessels and around oil facilities. We had the Anadarko amendment, which allowed companies planning oil exploration to undertake this without the need to get a consent from the Environmental Protection Agency. So we've got history here with the government changing the law to benefit the oil industry. And here it's not just a transitional issue, because again, with one law for the oil industry, we're not seeing the government changing the law to benefit the community, to benefit the public, and having a say on this major application to have the Maui platforms continue for another 35 years. The public must comply with the deadlines in the EEZ Act. There have been several applications to the EPA, which is considering Shell Todd Oil's application, which was lodged last December, to have an extension for submissions. The EPA has declined those requests, and all the submissions had to be in by Tuesday. That 20 working day deadline for submissions, which is set out in the law, had to be complied with by iwi, by hapu, by members of the public, despite this being a very complex application and despite the EPA having made a substantial request with around 55 different points that it wanted further information on, and the public were asking for an extension of time so that they could come to grips with the application, come to grips with all this further information and make more informed submissions. The EPA said no, abide by the law. But here we have the government changing the law to benefit Shell Oil to extend its deadlines because it didn't get itself organised enough to apply well before the permit expires on the 27th of June. So the Green Party certainly doesn't want to imperil the gas supply for New Zealanders, but we don't think there's been enough information provided that is in fact a risk. And as Gareth Hughes noted, the company could potentially make other arrangements. This bill could be all about saving Shell Todd Oil the cost of making alternative arrangements in terms of our gas supply. So, Mr Speaker, this Act has been in place for 3 years, the EEZ Act. Shell Oil is big enough and ugly enough to understand what the provisions of the Act are, what the requirements are in terms of lodging its application. It failed to do that. It only lodged an application for marine consent last December, and now the Parliament is being asked to change it just to suit the company. And, Mr Speaker, there is quite the application that the EPA is considering is a major one, and I note in one of the newsletters that the companies put out about the Maui marine consents, it noted that the application was a good opportunity to consider future activities that may take place at Maui, and STOS will likely seek approval for these at the same time. So, Mr Speaker, is there going to be an expansion of the existing activities there? Are there going to be other environmental effects? Is this legislation going to give the company an easier run? We want to see much more detail around the justification for the legislation and to reassure us that it's not just making changes to benefit Shell Oil. Thank you.